Any minute now, Minnesota Democratic Governor Tim Walz will answer questions about his decision to end his re-election campaign. He broke the news yesterday after weeks of the feds turning the screws on his state in the wake of a multi-billion-dollar fraud scheme. He claims he's been hard at work addressing the fraud since it was discovered years ago, prompting critics to ask if he was trying to stop it, then how did it spiral out of control? The Washington Post editorial board writing this: Walz has insisted that he was focused all along on cleaning up fraud. If that's true, he's really bad at cleaning up fraud because the problem exploded under his governorship. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Emily Campagno here with my co-host, Harris Faulkner. And also joining us today, Rosanna Scotto, Fox 5 New York anchor and host of The Underground Economy on Fox Nation, Lisa Booth, Fox News political analyst, and Paul Morrow, attorney, retired NYPD inspector, and Fox News contributor. Now, Governor Walz blamed Republicans for the situation yesterday. Watch.
If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power, smearing entire communities, and running their own fraudulent game at the expense of Minnesotans, I will fight back with everything that I have. Minnesota has always come first and always will. I'm focused on making sure that we stay America's best place to live and raise kids. No one will take that away from us.
But White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Trump believes Walz could be criminally liable.
President Trump has been calling out Tim Walz for his incompetence and corrupt leadership for a very long time. And Trump was right about everything. This is another example of that, which is why Governor Walz is dropping out of the race for re-election today. This is a man who can no longer even win the support of the voters within his home state because his policies have failed them.
Now, welfare fraud isn't just a problem in Minnesota. It's been thrust into the national spotlight. A former WWE wrestler has been indicted in the Mississippi welfare fraud scandal, accused of embezzling almost $4 million in state welfare funds. The case is part of a much larger fraud investigation. The Trump administration is sending a clear message aimed at stopping similar schemes, freezing $10 billion in funding to 5 blue states over fears of childcare and social services fraud. Paul Morrow, a lot to unpack. My question to start out with you is, have we seen the worst of it, or is the worst yet to come?
Worst is yet to come, because once you get into the discovery, you start pulling all the paperwork and so on, you start to see what really went on, and it's always ugly when you see how the sausage was made. Let's make a couple of distinctions here. First of all, my understanding is right now 16 federal investigations ongoing, including some that were begun well before this story broke, all right? Let's make this distinction relative to Minnesota. If you look at who's been investigating, and I want to be fair here, the DOJ under Biden was investigating this. In fact, the U.S. Attorney for Minnesota came out and said at one point, we have a fraud problem here in Minnesota. What's the distinction? Well, the feds were investigating. Who was not investigating? The state, the people that were closest to it, who should have had a better window into it. Walz, Keith Ellison, the Attorney General. The Attorney Generals love to say, I'm the top law enforcement agent in my state. But when it comes to law enforcement, they don't do anything. Why was the state complicit or incompetent when the feds actually went at it? Because the state were the people who had the most to gain, because they wanted the Somali votes. So as a result, they let all of this happen, again, either complicit or incompetent. Walz, the only way he's going to be criminally liable, in my estimation, is if you see somehow or other he got some sort of a donation because he looked the other way. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to bring criminal charges. You can have an intent issue. But Ellison met with the Feeding Our Future people. They were not to be indicted yet, but they were under investigation. And he let that skate. He said, I'm siding with you guys. They were later indicted. And by the way, he got, I think it's $15,000 to $20,000 donations from that group in the subsequent 2 weeks, including money that went to his son, who was running for the assembly up there, the local, assembly that governs St. Paul, Minneapolis. My point is, when you start to see that sort of tit for tat, it's an allegation. That's all it is. That has to be looked at. I spoke to Bill Glenn, who is a fellow at the Center for the American Experiment in Minnesota. He worked for Palenti. He had a window. He's the guy who found the audio tape. There's an audio tape of that meeting, and he put it out. Nobody else was interested. I had him on my podcast. I don't do this too much when I talk about it, the ops desk. I'm going to drop it this week. He laid it all out. Ellison's got trouble.
I think part of the reason, Harris, that everything is so shocking, too, is because of how obvious it was and how now as we're learning how much whistleblowing was being ignored. We have a spot we'll play for you right now. It's Nick Shirley calling out the hypocrisy of the so-called learning centers. They can't even get the title right. Let's watch.
Quality Learning Center. This is the meme that has gone totally viral. And I mean, clearly it's because of the hypocrisy. You have a daycare that's receiving millions of dollars of taxpayer funds, federal funds, and they can't even spell learning right.
Their logic has been literally broken. And if you ask them, well, you're supporting $1.9 million going to this daycare and they can't even spell learning right, she just looks you stone cold in the face and has no response because she knows she can't justify it, but she has to keep yelling just to keep going to convince herself that she's doing the right thing.
And you can catch that full episode tomorrow with Riley Gaines' new podcast. But Harris, he's absolutely right. It's egregious.
Okay, it's also everywhere. For some reason, my 16-year-old's algorithms brought up that on the tail end of our vacation. She said, Mom, those people where you used to work and cover them on the news when they were breaking the law in Minnesota can't spell learning. I'm like, where are you getting this from? No, it's everywhere. And because it is, what you said is so right. So Chairman Comer of the House Oversight last hour told me that their focus is on Keith Ellison.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, he said that. And I then said, well, Walz can run, but he can't take everybody with him. Right, because he can't protect any of the people who are left behind. But apparently there is so much going on with that trail with Ellison and others as well in that state that Comer feels like this could go on for quite some time. And their focus from a congressional standpoint will be clawing back some of the money. I mean, people were ripped off so much. Is any of it still gettable? So that will be part of it. But yeah, this whole part about the ineptitude and how sloppy they were, and are the papers out there? Did somebody take them? Can we get any of the... You've got it on tape, and I didn't know you had a podcast, but I'm watching it and listening.
It was really revelatory, I tell you. And by the way,
Your podcast, no doubt.
A lot of the money crypto. They knew how to hide it.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah, Glenn told me that as well.
Wow. But Congress is on it.
But here's the thing politically. Governor Tim Walz got fried under the national spotlight. Because I've worked in statewide campaigns in a lot of these states, particularly if you look at some of these, left-leaning purple states, and you think the mainstream media is bad when it comes to bias. Get to some of these more liberal states and particularly liberal media markets like the Minneapolis, St. Paul area media market in the state of Minnesota. They protect the liberal governor there. So Governor Walz has been protected. I mean, a lot of these audits were flagged predating Governor Walz's time as governor, but as soon as Kamala Harris picked him as the VP, that was the demise and the end of his political career, because what also came under scrutiny was his handling of the George Floyd riots. The fact that there was $500 million worth of damage in the state of Minnesota. You have 1,500 properties damaged, that he allowed a police precinct to be overrun. His stolen valor, all those different things that he had lied about as well. And then now this fraud scandal as well. So this was the demise, the national spotlight, when people started paying attention to what he was doing. Also, we're talking about different buckets of fraud as well. You've got the Feeding Our Future fraud. You've got the Medicaid fraud, the housing fraud, the child care fraud. So I think this, his decision to not run for re-election, clearly legal culpability there. And then just realizing that this is the end of the road for him as this continues.
Rosanna, what do you think?
I was just thinking Minneapolis has hit after hit coming after it. I mean, now the Wall Street Journal is talking about what happened with ICE agents, right?
That's right.
The President of the United States talking about now sending in ICE agents to do a little bit more investigative work. And then you find out this hotel in Lakeville decides that on their own, they're not going to allow the ICE agents to stay there. They have documentation. They share it with everybody. Hilton is now coming out with a statement saying, hey, this is a franchise. It's not us. But, the bottom line is...
their franchise.
It's their franchise. And usually those people are groomed. There is somebody over them to kind of keep an eye on how things go. It's their name. And I'm in the hospitality business. Besides being a news person on here and on Good Day New York, my family has a restaurant. And hospitality, I mean, you can't, decide who's coming in your place and who's not. Discriminate against somebody who's coming in your place. Hospitality is hospitality. Now they're saying they're blaming it on one person in the front who decided to go rogue and not let these people in. But the bottom line is the Hilton chain because social media is all over this,
Yeah.
going to have a Bud Light problem. You know,
Yeah.
how do they get around this? I mean, Minneapolis has really got one problem after another.
Well, you know what? One thing relative to the hotel, no violence, all right? We are not the people who burn down Tesla dealerships, all right? So that thing is
Remember that.
identified. People are very mad. Be adults.
The family staying in those hotels. Can I just have 1 second?
Yeah,
with
please.
Paul? So with this idea, and I kicked out the word discrimination. I know with businesses, if you put a sign up, somehow that can indemnify you from something. But who wants to put up a sign that says we don't want to support federal workers in this environment?
Right.
I don't know. What's your take?
Somebody's going to get fired here. They're going to blame it on some rogue employee who sent out that email, and somebody will go and they'll back off of it. If it was an institutional decision, which I
Right.
don't assess from Hilton, they're going to push it over to the franchise, and I have a feeling that place is going to be called something different soon.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.